Sync clap. 1, 2, 3. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Oh, right. As soon as we're streaming, trying to sing in sync with you makes you stop singing because I'm out of sync with you, and then I try to stop it. Movie. Welcome to MOVIED. I'm Jake. I run the Pineapple Boy Films channel, what little of it there is these days.
And I'm Craig. I run the Wheezy Waiter and WheezyNews channel, what much of it there is there these days.
Yeah, you do constant uploading. I don't do that.
Whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not what this podcast is about. You are
Guys, welcome to what Jake's life is.
Welcome
this is
to
the new podcast.
MOVIED, exclamation point. Now also on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah, I've put us up on Spotify after someone in the WheezyNews comments asked if we could.
See, putting it up on WheezyNews, already magic is happening.
Yielding results.
Yes.
If you want to watch this, a video version of this, you can go to WheezyNews on YouTube and watch this instead of just listening to it with your ear holes. I found it kind of strange to watch us do this because it sounded exactly like the podcast because we're using the same mics and everything, but then I could see us and I actually found it strange.
Were you looking at your face most of the time or my face most of the time?
I mostly looked at whoever was talking.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Except
I was looking...
if I was talking and I thought I said something funny, I watched your face very carefully.
Like just now, like you're gonna do now with what just happened.
Absolutely.
I had a mirror next to the screen, and I was looking at the mirror of my face.
Oh,
watching us do the podcast.
That's a good idea. Guys, this week we are back to talk about another Netflix movie. The number one movie on Netflix, Project Power. We're back. We're back to the Netflix model. The day before, we usually agree to this day, whatever's number one on this day, we'll talk about. And the day before, it was another romantic drama this time. It looked kind of Notebooky or The Last Ridey.
What was that?
It was called The Last Something. The Last Wife, The Lost Wife. I'm not sure. I immediately thought we could probably have a good conversation about it, but it certainly doesn't look like anything we would choose to watch.
Right.
I love roms, but I love rom-coms. I'm not as big on rom-droms.
Rom-roms?
Rom-roms or rom-droms.
Is a rom-drom and a rom-rom the same thing?
Well, a rom-drom is meant to be a tearjerker. A rom-rom, it's hard to define what a rom-rom would be. I think you have to categorize it with a com or a drom.
What would be an example of something that's just a romance? That's not a drama?
A romance. I guess that's
not
a porno. Is that a porno?
It depends on your definition of romance, I think. All right. I don't think so. I don't think of that as romance.
Okay.
But
I guess that's true. I mean,
yeah.
People might be getting one definition of the word romantic, but it's not the romance that we associate with romance.
So welcome to All About Porn. Now, for the next hour, we will be talking about porn.
Actually, when we do movie podcasts about superpower movies, usually they're Marvel movies, so that might be just a weighted thing and that like all of culture talks about Marvel movies. But now we'll have a barometer because this is a superpower movie, an original screenplay. Like it's not based on any properties. It wasn't released by Marvel. It was made, I don't know what studios made it actually, but it was bought by Netflix. It was made for $85 million.
Really?
A great cast. And I didn't realize two directors that I love. I didn't realize it was them until Casey Neistat showed up in it.
I did know who it was. I was aware of their movie Nerve, but I've never seen it.
I love Nerve. I rewatched it after Project Power, and I actually bought it because I'd rented it enough times that I was like, I'm losing money on this. I just need to buy it because I keep watching it. The last act of Nerve gets kind of crazy. Like you really have to like meet them there. It gets so like movie logic-y for the last third of it, but the first 2/3 are so good I don't care.
That's kind of like our take on
Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse, exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like the third act, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's totally well done, but it didn't matter.
It also makes
already...
more sense. Spider-Verses makes more logical sense. Like, in order to make the logic leaps happen in the third act of Nerve that occur, you'd probably need to add like 15-ish more minutes to the movie, but it's a good hour and a half movie. Don't pad it out. Just I'll meet you there.
Okay. Welcome to Comparative Filmography, in which we talk about the similarities between Nerve and Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. What is it called? Spider-Verse.
Porn. I think it's porn.
Porn.
Yeah.
Porn. Hey. Yeah. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's it.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
He really got into
a movie
that
I
Spider-Verse.
love. A movie I love, and I couldn't remember the title.
We should talk about Project Power, since that's the title of this episode and the movie under discussion.
Okay. I was supposed to watch that. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I can wing it.
Do you want to synopsize it?
No.
Okay.
This is a Jake synopsis one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's the best. There's a bidding war on this basically because it's an elevator pitch movie. It's so high concept you only need a sentence.
Yeah.
There are superpowers that you get for 5 minutes by taking a pill. Done.
Yep. There you go.
Like if you are in or out based on that sentence. These pills are outlawed, so because people use them for bad things, they kind of haven't even reached an FDA status yet. They're so street oriented, scientifically engineered, blah blah blah. One guy
You could say a little more. What were you going to say?
I was going to say one guy played by Jamie Foxx is kind of trying to find the source of power. Is it just called power?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one cop is trying to find him because he believes he is a bad guy. And a young woman is all caught up in it because she is a dealer of it, but then gets caught up into the drama of the higher-ups.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess. Yeah.
And then when you find out Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it, he's back from his hiatus of being a father. Like, yeah, I'll click on it. I'll buy a ticket. I would have seen this in a theater. Netflix didn't want me to.
No, they didn't.
COVID
Jerks.
also did not want me to.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that COVID wanted anything.
Yeah,
It's
no,
virus.
it's probably not sentient. No.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oh, God. I hope, really hope it didn't want you to not watch this movie in the theater.
And that's kind of all you really need to know, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you recommend this film, Krieg?
You know, I've been thinking about you asking me this question for a while now.
Oh, wow.
Well, since I've watched the movie.
Sure.
Like,
and
okay,
you know it's part of the format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way I will answer is...
Oh, man. I'm getting nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's pretty good.
I liked it a lot. I would say watch it. I would say check it out.
I got some issues with it, but...
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into that. So you would not recommend somebody watch it?
No, I didn't say that. I said,
Yeah. I asked you a yes or no question, and you offered a third option.
I guess I'd have to say... No, I can't. That's my answer. I feel like it. Some people might like it, some people won't.
Yeah, that sounds like a movie.
Yeah, but there are some movies where I can safely say that watch this. Most of you are going to like it.
Yeah, but you said that about A Ghost Story. And I don't know that that's super like wide appealing.
I guess what I really mean is I didn't super love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You wouldn't watch it again.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
And that is basically my barometer for recommending a movie. If I would watch it again, I think somebody should check it out. If I wouldn't watch it again, no, I don't think they should waste their time because I kind of wasted mine.
Yeah. I mean, it has good parts. I'm glad I saw it. It had good parts.
Really committing. Really committing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that is our spoiler-free synopsis, guys. We're just going to start chatting. We're going to get right into it. I don't know that we're going to go all of the rental on it and kind of do a full breakdown minute by minute on this thing.
I feel like we're more likely to do something like that when we both really love a movie.
Yeah, like we want to recount our like actual experience of viewing it.
Yeah. But also this movie has got, I think, a lot more happens, so it'd be hard to even remember everything, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yes, kind of, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, maybe we'll find out. So, guys,
Yeah.
if you want to check out Project Power, like I recommend, stop now, go watch the movie, come back, check out the rest. If you feel like meh, maybe see somebody. Oh, BetterHelp.com is a cheap and easy, effective way during these stressful times to distance see someone.
Yeah.
If you feel meh about watching a movie, then don't worry about it. You probably don't even want to watch the rest of this. So,
No, actually, I bet a lot of people are going to watch this who won't even watch the movie.
that might be true. I listen to a lot of movie podcasts where I never watch the movie.
Yeah. So, first of all, $85 million.
Yeah, 85.1.
I thought this was a low-budget movie.
Really?
Lower budget, anyway. Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised because the action scenes that were very well done and insanely complicated, visual effects wise and budgety looking wise.
Yeah, but they also didn't look that great to me. A lot of them. Like,
I thought they looked great.
I don't know. It looked kind of generic. A lot of it to me.
Okay.
But I guess that's just a matter of taste.
Yeah, I didn't read that at all. They won me over with the initial scene where Machine Gun Kelly, the actor, Newt, where Newt is in his apartment and guys, we're in spoilers territory now, okay? So that's
spoiler
happening.
time.
In case you didn't know, Craig didn't say there were aliens, so you might not have realized, but we're in spoiler territory now.
Oh yeah, there were aliens, weren't there?
No.
Oh, there wasn't. Okay. No. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So when Newt takes so Jamie Foxx breaks into Newt's place and he's trying to follow the trail of power and work his way up to the top in an effort to, we don't know why at this point, we can get into that or whatever, but Newt, in order to escape, takes one power pill and bursts into flames.
Yes.
Now, the things that I found interesting, we've all seen flaming people. Anyone who's seen Fantastic Four has seen a person running around on fire. Anyone who's seen 1984's Friday.
To be clear, we've all seen. Most of us have seen flaming people in movies. Hopefully, we haven't all just seen flaming people.
That's true.
Anyway, here's the thing, Jake. This first act, I was in. I was enjoying it a lot. I was. I went in knowing nothing and expecting nothing.
You hadn't even seen the clip on Twitter of Joseph Gordon-Levitt getting shot in the face?
Nope.
Okay. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, cool.
I started watching, and I was like, huh, I'm in. Take me for a ride. Filmmakers and actors and everyone involved. I don't know exactly where it lost me.
All right, maybe during our reconstruction of the movie, you can tell me where. Because here's what I was responding to in the movie. Number one, it definitely felt like it had even though it wasn't based on any property, it felt to me like an indie comic response to mainstream superheroes. Like it had that indie comic vibe to it. Like in the same way that like The Crow feels like indie response to whatever's happening in media, like it had that vibe. And I loved that. I loved the dynamic camera work and editing. It felt kind of Tony Scottish to me. I was like, whoever made this movie really enjoyed the work of Mr. Tony Scott because the colors really popped and it all looked kind of gritty. And some of the angles were angles that actors hate, but that I, as a viewer, really love. Like really wide lenses close to faces, like I dig that. And then when Machine Gun Kelly burst into flames, I was like, okay, cool. It looks good. It looks as good as visual fire effects look, no matter who's doing them. Visual effects look like visual effects to me, but bad visual effects don't interact with the environment or anything.
I mean, these effects weren't that impressive to me, but because, it didn't have to be the way it was. It didn't have to be entirely engulf the screen with fake computer flames.
Yeah. That's true. But I appreciated that about it, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, too, in these Fantastic Four-ish type things, the environment does interact with the flaming person, but it's not to such a degree. And this is like a grimy, gritty place. Probably who knows what types of alcoholic things are spattered everywhere, you know? Like,
Sure.
I like when he gets rocked back to the chair by the shotgun blast, I like that everything goes up in flames. And I especially loved, this is what the best part of that whole, like Jamie Foxx starts running. I would too. Got to get away from the guy who's on fire.
Yeah.
When he jumps through the hole into the apartment below, like that he already has like in place. I don't know why that guy has an alligator in his apartment, but that's fine too. Like, and starts the chase scene was super cool to me. And then as soon as Jamie Foxx is like, okay, I'm gonna douse you with my coat and stick you in a bathtub, the way that the fire power kept fighting against the water, I thought was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, my issues with the effects didn't make me like walk away or anything.
Were you
like,
watching it on your projector or were you watching it on your phone?
Projector.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I usually watch on my phone.
I watch some of these movies on my phone because it's bedtime.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I was watching on my projector. I mean, it didn't lose me. Like bad effects aren't necessarily. I don't care that much about the fidelity of effects as long as it's not like annoying.
Yeah.
You know. But this was a lot of effects, and I did take note, like mental note, like, I mean, some of that fire is like, kind of takes me out of it a little bit because it's like too computery. But that's fine. It didn't ruin it for me. I was still in.
Yeah.
Like,
as long as the fire is reacting in a way that I find believable to the movie, like as long as it's burning the chair he's sitting in and fucking the carpet or whatever, like all that stuff, I can go along with like. And I thought honestly, like I feel like I bring a critical eye to effects, and you know, this time I was in. Like I don't mind the entire. Like I know the shot you're talking about, the flames everywhere shot. Like there were a few of them, but the one I think I know the one you're talking about, and it's obvious that like it's visual effects frame.
Yeah, I will say that is an example of the general attitude, I think, of the movie that kind of bugs me. Not always, again, like it's not entirely throughout the whole movie, but there are moments to me that are like, you're just trying really hard to just be cool. You're just trying to have like an audience clapping moment. There's all these like really stilted, contrived one-liners that are like,
name one.
Yeah!
Name one.
The right before.
Am I lying?
Yeah, there you go. That's the one I was thinking of.
That's the only one in the movie to me. That's the only one that stands out to me.
Then Joseph Gordon-Levitt's whole thing is all. I mean, it's. I guess it speaks to his character, but it's all the Dirty Harry stuff.
We can get right into that if you want, because I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love him. Like I love him. Like I would hold him. You know.
Wow. Okay.
I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he's great. Ever since Brick is really when it like that's when I bought in, and ever since then I've not been disappointed by him.
I thought of another example. Also, Jamie Foxx, when he's like he's sitting in the chair and he's like, "Guess what mine is?" And he reveals his lips and he's got the power pill in his lips. Those are the only two that come to mind right now, but there are more.
Okay.
There are definitely more.
Because
and it's not just about one-liners. It's just about the attitude of like, let's have this really, really still shot of like something that looks cool for just the purpose of it looking cool. Like they're walking down an alleyway between giant crates, and then the camera goes up, and then Bone Knife guy like perches on the top and then turns and then turns back. Like he turns towards the camera for no reason and then turns back.
Well, he had to check and see if he heard something, you know.
Okay,
he thought his buddy called him.
Sure.
He was right about to pounce into action, but he thought his buddy was like giving him the stop sign, so he had to be like, check back. Also, it looks really cool. So what are you going to do?
No, it's just that they thought it looked really cool. That's all it is.
It's a superhero thing.
It's not all superhero movies do that to such a, I don't know, fake seeming way. Like, I don't know.
I think many of them do, but they are forgiven because of what they are. Like, as the second you sit down to like a popcorn superhero movie, you're like, I'm gonna get the moment where he turns toward the camera. Like,
I would not forgive what I saw in this movie. I would not forgive that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't bump on that at all. I understand the Jamie Foxx stuff that you're talking about. The line, "Am I lying?" Like it came from nowhere. It's just his like, it's like his Ezekiel 25:17. from Pulp Fiction. It's the thing he says to bad guys before pulverizing them, you know?
Sure.
Like, that's his... So, like, that whole...
That's a little more interesting, though, in Pulp Fiction.
I know. But, like, that's what this screenwriter was doing. And, by the way, Craig, there was a bidding war for this screenplay. He was handsomely paid, and now he's writing The Batman, so...
I'm not necessarily blaming the screenplay. I'm talking about the general attitude of, like, and the pacing and the way that they just set everything up that way. Everything builds to like this one point, and it's like, this is the cool moment, and then it moves on to the next thing. Like, it's not just about the lines themselves that are delivered; it's the way that it's presented.
Okay. Yeah. No, I absolutely felt those things happening in the same way that you did. Not the toad bone guy. Another
one is the plant growing, which is kind of cool. Like the girl who can heal, she like perches on the shelf and then the plant grows. Like, you can do that in a much more subtle way than just like still camera right on the plant. She stops for no reason to rest right next to it, real long time, walks away. Like, it could have been
I guarantee you that they got the note. We need to make that more clear after they showed that version of it.
You're giving them too much. You're trying to forgive them too much here. I feel like that's something they planned because they thought it looked cool.
No. It didn't. It was the only. Like, okay, you know how we as modern moviegoers love set something up, pay it off. Set something up, pay it off. That was the only setup for her then healing her father.
I know, and that's another problem. Suddenly, we have this character that we don't know anything about. And we're asked to really care about her at the end of the movie.
Well, only because Jamie Foxx cares about her. And it's surprising that you, having a daughter, feel nothing.
I didn't.
I'm starting to really question some of the things that I'm learning about you, Craig. All of that had kind of the Nerve third act problem too. Like, the first two acts of this weren't as compelling to me as the first two acts of Nerve, but they do have something that I really enjoy about what these directors do. And Nerve was their only movie I had seen before. They are the guys who made the Catfish documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I also didn't see.
I didn't see that either, but I remember it being a thing. And then leading to the Catfish show and the term catfish and all the things. So like I want to see it now because I loved Nerve and I really enjoyed Project Power. And then they did another movie called Viral because they're Blumhouse guys too. They did Paranormal Activity 3 and 4, which I haven't seen because I hate found footage movies. But then they also did this movie called Viral, which is about a couple of girls quarantined in their house during a pandemic, which came out in 2016 as well. And that movie had this too. I feel like they give the actors license to kind of make things their own because certain moments that are just casual moments in the movie feel super real to me in terms of like the way characters just interact with each other.
And I loved Jamie Foxx's performance. It's fantastic.
And like just little things feel real. And also the environments they choose feel really real. Like, you don't see these kinds of neighborhoods really in a lot of superhero movies, and portrayed in this, in like that Church's Chicken could have been dressed up to look a lot more like Hollywood, but it looked like a Church's Chicken.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In a kind of a rundown neighborhood.
You really feel New Orleans while you're watching it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah.
And so like this came up early. We were just about to start talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then we kind of got pulled back into another reason the movie felt inauthentic to Craig. But then, so when Joseph Gordon-Levitt shows up, I'm like, yay, Joseph Gordon-Levitt forever. But once again, we have a new problem in which we have a renegade cop, Craig. We have a renegade cop. And this movie was made in 2018, so ages before white America was made aware of the deep systemic racism in policing. Like, we knew it, but we didn't realize that it was... Yeah. Everybody knew. That's why no one is ever surprised when we hear one of these stories. But like, now that it's time to address it, like, we started digging and finding out how systemic the problem was. So these storylines, the renegade cop storylines, I have a hard time with, even when it's an actor I adore, and he's like, they're playing him as the hometown cop who, you know, gives young black girls motorcycles as a present, like, you know, like like all those things. And he's also He's going to do whatever he can to defend his hometown against the suits who come in to try and shut down the cases that he must investigate, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's that romanticization of renegade policing that is part of the problem. It's the thing that gets people into the systemic situation. And so I hope that we can start to kind of move away from the format.
Why his character, he seems like he's a cop. What's he do for, like, he just goes and gets drugs from her, and then he goes and he's trying to get this power off the street.
So here's the idea. So in order to get power off the street, he has to use power. That's another common fun thing that police, like, as long as they get results, who cares how they get them? It's the lethal weaponization of it all. So love Shane Black. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But he moved on. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang, and Nice Guys. Neither one of the nice guys were police.
That's true.
Anyway, I'm sorry, I keep getting defund the police guys. Defund them. Okay. He needs to get power from her in order to fight the bad guys who have power, because you can't defeat power without power. When he is proven to have power and his police captain is like, no, you can't do this. You're off to throw your badge and gun on the table. He's like, okay, but you know something's going on. Maybe we can work together off the books, blah, 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 whatever. And he gives him the photocopy of Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
He's like, the guys in the suits are looking for this guy. This guy is the guy responsible for power. So now he's on a one-way mission just to stop power, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess.
So what? Yeah?
Yeah. So that's his job then? He can just do whatever he wants?
Well, no. Now he's no longer a cop. So until he stops power... No, you know what? It's not even like he can get his job back if he stops power, because now he's a power user of the police force. So what he's actually doing for is the goodness of his renegade cop heart.
Well, yeah, right. But if he were still when he was a cop, does he? I guess he's a renegade cop who can do whatever he wants. I guess that's
As long as it stops the bad people using power, like, he doesn't care. Like, he needs to. Like, obviously, if he didn't have power, he would have been dead confronting Chameleon Man. Yeah. Another effect that I thought looked really cool.
Chameleon Man? Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I loved the way, like, that it kept, like, blurring with the colors of the backgrounds as he was passing. And that's not a cheap process.
Yeah, I guess so. It just, a lot of, like, the prospect of a pill that can give anyone a superpower.
Yeah.
It felt like there weren't a lot of superpowers in this movie. There weren't a lot of superheroes in this movie.
Right. So
that's why I thought it was lower budget.
Right.
You know?
But, like, just based on locations, and I always come back to locations. Like, they had a lot of locations and they all looked really good. Yeah. They put a lot of money into longer, fewer superhero sequences.
And then there was the somewhat cool sequence of the girl freezing to death in the tank.
Oh my god, that was so cool! It was a dual layer inside outside oneer, Craig. There were two stories happening within that oneer, and it was incredible. Yeah,
but you could barely see what was happening outside. It was just like snippets. Was
the contrast too high on your TV, Craig? What were you not able to see?
Well, you'd see, like, some fighting. You'd see an occasional fight happen, and then she'd crawl over here, and then
that's what was so cool about it.
Over here.
That's what was so cool about it.
It felt to me like a way to obscure the fight going on in the background because they didn't want to budget it or something. You know?
Came into this movie with something, or at some point.
I didn't.
No,
I did
not coming into it with something.
Jake, why do you always look for another reason besides the fact that I just see things about the movie I don't like? You know.
Well, because I'm surprised you really didn't enjoy that sequence. It was a fight scene that I'd never ever seen before.
I don't know, like,
it was a way to present an action sequence that I've never seen before.
We just react differently to different images on screen. Like, you probably saw her crawling and you were like, "That's so cool," and I saw it like, "Okay, cut to something else. I'm bored by this." You know, like.
Well, the way that it was presented, in which, like, she's crawling, but then you can see a layer past to what's happening back there, but then her story's progressing in here, his story's progressing out there. I was interested in both of it, and in the way that it was dual constructed. Like,
but her story, I feel like you kind of know how you don't need to see that to see her story progress. You know that she's freezing to death.
Yeah.
Like that, you don't. That's not like something that you need to focus in on.
Well, you're watching. Okay, so this also might come down to our our Suspiria conversation, in which you did not enjoy seeing a woman pretzel twisted by witch dance, and I found tension in seeing how far they would take it, and if anything would happen to change her fate. I felt the same way in this. I wasn't interested in how far they would take it. It didn't feel like they were going for gore really in this movie, but it felt. I was curious to see if something would change her fate, and it didn't. Yeah. So I mean, that's. But her eventual death was really cool to me. The way she blew out the breath that turned to ice, I thought was badass.
It was kind of cool, but again, that to me is another example of let's just focus in on this thing that we think is cool for a while.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just because of cool's sake. You know? It just didn't, I didn't feel anything.
Okay. Good, I did. I felt thrilled.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I felt thrilled by just the sheer cinema I was watching.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a character. First of all, it's a character I know nothing about. She has delivered 2 lines, and you just saw her at the beginning of the scene.
But Casey Neistat loves her so much.
That's true. Casey Neistat does. Yeah. Like, it just felt odd. It just, I don't know. Felt like, why focus on this character so hard and her death? Like, I don't know anything about this person.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely what you're saying. I think what you're saying is because it was a cool way to make the sequence, and you don't care about that. And to me, the cool new sequence I saw was exactly the point.
Yeah, I think I see that is exactly the point, but to me that feels a little empty. Like, I don't care. Like, I just, you know. Yeah.
You were done with the movie.
No, I wasn't done with the movie. It wasn't because I quit earlier, that's why that scene was bad.
Oh, okay.
No. This is exactly what I think about that scene.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just a series, like you go watch a movie and you're like, good scene, bad scene, good scene, bad, good. I don't feel.
No, I just take in scenes and then I react to them
when
I watch a movie,
right.
like you do.
This is cool. I think we're like almost fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One person we haven't talked about at all is Dominique Fishback. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she's
great.
Young black woman in the movie.
Yeah.
She is fantastic. I always get so scared when a movie presents somebody as a rapper and then is going to make them rap.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
She's great.
Go so wrong. Yeah.
She's great.
Performance was great, and her raps were all great.
Yeah, her
too.
raps were amazing, and her performances were great. Her story to me there wasn't a story.
Yeah.
It was just. I mean, this is in the first act. I was invested partly because of her character. Because I could see an interesting story happening, but she was just on the side the whole time.
Right.
So
I honestly thought in the beginning of the movie that she was just the save the cat model of storytelling.
Yeah.
Where your hero just has to do something nice, like save a cat. I thought she was the cat. I thought she was the cat that Joseph Gordon-Levitt gave a motorcycle to. Until we started seeing her later. And Jamie Foxx's Save the Cat was waving at a baby at a gas station. Like, they wanted to make sure they checked the boxes of character, like, appropriate empathy.
Yeah. Yeah, but it felt like, I think maybe somewhere in the middle of the movie is where I started to feel like I don't really know who the main character is anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just Jamie Foxx wants to save his daughter. She wants to rap, and she's just along for the ride. Joseph Gordon-Levitt wants power off the street just like Jamie Foxx.
His isn't really even a story. His is a B story. Yeah. Like, it's a two-hander. It's the young woman, it's Dominique's, and it's Jamie Foxx. It's their movie. Like, and then he's like a supporting character.
That's the who's Dominique?
Dominique Fishback is I don't know.
Character.
I don't remember her character name.
Robin, I think is the character. Yeah.
So Robin and Jamie Foxx. I don't ever remember.
No, but I'm
names.
saying Robin's character. She didn't feel like she was just a side character.
She didn't she didn't become integral to the story. She eventually became a hanger-oner. It's Jamie Foxx's story, right? And
it is, but I also think his story is kind of simple too. Like, he's like, he just has to save his daughter, who we don't really know anything about.
Yeah. It's black superhero Taken.
Okay. I guess, but then it also cuts to these other things that they think are important too. That I don't know. It started to feel very scattered in the second half.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel. So what gets you in is the premise. The execution in the beginning, I really enjoyed.
I did too.
I loved that whole first sequence. I loved the chameleon bike chase sequence. I loved that he calls her the Lookout. He was in a movie called The Lookout. And I love that he has a bike chase. He was in Premium Rush as a bike messenger. Like, just there was a lot of little Joseph. I know they weren't doing it on purpose, but I enjoyed it. And I didn't care that he was like a firecracker shrimp or whatever that's called.
No. I was also very disappointed in his ultimate power.
Yeah.
Because like he's like a super fighter on his own.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, wonder what his fighting powers are.
Yeah.
His fighting powers are stand there and blow stuff up around him.
Yeah.
That's
just like become like a nuclear bomb. I'm like a plasma generator, like turn everything to plasma. I enjoyed the mechanics of them getting to the final boss, right? Mm-hmm. And the final boss. Like getting on the ship to go rescue the daughter, all that stuff. I really enjoyed her having to be in the control room and Joseph Gordon-Levitt going the other way. Fighting the bendy guy was great. Like that was super
pretty cool. Like, because here's my thinking at that point. Like at that point, I was like, all right, there are things about this movie I don't like. It's kind of losing me. And then I saw the bendy fight. I'm like, I really want to like things about this movie. And then, okay, I do like that. I do. That is good. That is objectively good.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, and I think Joost and Schulman, the directors, I think they are friggin' ace. I'm really, really interested in them, and the way that they make characters. Because the 3 different movies that I've watched of theirs all have 3 different writers, but I feel like the character interactions that aren't like super plot based are really genuine in the way that people react to each other, and I appreciate the hell out of it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what you would think of Nerve.
Yeah, I want to see that, but Robin, her character, like there are several scenes with her involving rap and how good she is at rap.
Yeah.
Even though she still, to me, feels like her character doesn't connect with the rest of the story at all. Like,
yeah. Other than just dealing.
But those scenes are really good.
Yeah.
Like they're like those human scenes, and they do feel natural and genuine. Like, and a lot of the interaction with Joseph Gordon-Levitt feels very. And Jamie Foxx too.
I love the sequence when Joseph Gordon-Levitt breaks into her house to save her mom from the suits. I think it's so funny. I had such a good time.
That was good. Yeah, but I think soon after that is where it started to teeter for me.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying this is like I gave this movie 3.5, I think, out of 5.
Yeah.
Like
I'd probably give it 2 or 1.5.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And because I was entertained the whole time, and I didn't bump on a lot of the stuff you bumped on. And when these big superhero moments, the only thing that bothered of the things you've mentioned so far, the only thing that actually bothered me was the "Am I lying?" Because it was such like a line that wasn't actually grounded in anything we knew about the character. Even once we got to know the character by the end of the movie, the "Am I lying?" thing didn't make any sense. It doesn't like why is he like he's not like a human lie detector or something, and I like it doesn't that. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. I would love to know.
I don't think you're wrong.
but that I bumped on as like, okay, that's a movie line, but they're not actually grounding it in anything. But that was the only part that bothered me in that way. And then it did start to feel unnecessary. Like I didn't need to keep watching it. I could have happily turned it off. Before they got to the ship and felt like I had enjoyed myself. But the high point for me, honestly, is that oneer you hated.
I did introduce that as kind of cool. Like I did say that it was kind of cool.
Okay.
Like I didn't hate it.
Sure.
Like stylistically, it's a fun exexercise.
Yeah.
But like I just didn't really feel anything while watching it. You know.
Ooh, I was just exhilarated. I felt the same kind of thing I feel watching. Because oneers are so ubiquitous at this point.
Yeah.
Like any director who wants to call attention to themselves just does a big complicated oneer. And like the last time I felt that about a oneer was like the True Detective oneer.
Yeah.
I thought
This was way less complicated.
Oh, way
than that.
less complicated. But
Yeah.
the fact that there were two things unfolding within the shot and they were using one
Yeah.
to mask the other and give us snippets of the other, I hadn't seen it before in this way. And I
Yeah.
was so exhilarated by that.
When we saw, what was it called?
Upgrade.
Nope, Charlize Theron.
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde. That has a oneer that is technically really complicated.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't like it. It was like
I enjoyed that one too, actually.
took-
But I didn't feel mesmerized by it in the same way. I appreciate it as like, oh, this is fun.
It took it out. It took me out of it. I was
That's another movie though too. Like I had a good time watching Atomic Blonde, and you did not.
No, did not at all. I just didn't feel whatever they wanted me to feel watching it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that said, like the first half of this movie, totally into it. Totally into it.
Sure.
Yeah. And I do love, like, those scenes. Like I said, parts of it are good. Like those rap scenes, which have nothing to do with this movie, really.
Well, they do. Like
you can connect them.
No.
But
the only reason I say that they do is because the only person who we never find out of our main characters what their pill power would be is her, because he says her way to express herself is her power, and she should use that instead of wasting time dealing drugs.
yeah,
It's the message of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I like that, but it felt like it still didn't. It felt really tagged on to me. Like,
It only didn't to me because I felt like she was going to be more necessary to the continued evolution of the story, which she wasn't.
Yeah.
But I appreciate, as soon as they proved that they could do like the rapping character without like embarrassing themselves, I was able to really enjoy those moments. And so I felt Jamie Foxx's approval of her very well then.
yeah. I mean, those scenes are good to me. Like those are great scenes, but to me they don't connect to everything else. And it felt like, it felt like a separate movie. Like you could have made a separate movie about her, and that would have been more. I probably would have liked it more, but
You know what I wanted?
But you were complimenting the how they can get like a natural performance out of people, and that's totally it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's part of the problem is that they went so far off on these tangents to get natural reactions out of people, and it loses focus of the main story.
When I heard the concept, what I wanted the concept to be was every time you took a pill, you got a different power, but you didn't know what one.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah. And so the promise of that idea was so exciting to me.
Yeah, it was actually a little unclear for a while what it was.
Yeah. So like only once you kind of like see people take them over again, or people talking about what their power is, do you understand that you only get one, and the pill activates the one that you get.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. Doesn't seem to really be determined by much of anything. It seems like a crapshoot. It's not determined by the way we did it. Was there's deep genetic code in each of our characters in Platoon of Power Squadron.
Oh yeah,
that kind of influenced the way our powers manifested.
Jamie Foxx is just a shrimp that blows things up around him for no reason.
Or maybe they were talking about some kind of explosive element to his temper, but I didn't read it if that's what they were doing.
Did he have a really bad temper?
Yeah, I mean, here and there. But like, and I mean, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I guess, is tough as nails. Was he like a rhinoceros? There was a scales. I think there would have just been a lot of like their ability to build a lot of surprise in not knowing what this pill was going to bring you. Mm-hmm. And elements of also comedy. Like if you end up in a tough situation and get a lousy power, like that could be really fun.
Yeah. I feel like the concept was kind of wasted. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities there.
I'm starting to I kind of flicked through a couple reviews. I didn't want to read actual reviews to influence the way that I spoke about it, but it seems like some people are saying that. Like, good performances, good actors, flashy concept, interesting parts, but a waste of the cool concept. Like I was going into it, and once I saw Casey Neistat, I was like, "Is this the Nerve guys?" Because the only other movie I've ever seen him in is Nerve, and apparently he's good buddies with them.
Yeah.
But so once I found out it was them, I started engaging with it even more because of how much I liked Nerve. So, yeah, once you start talking about whether the characters needed to be this or that, or like where their stories are going, or who is necessary for what, yeah, there's a lot of holes in this thing in terms of like a tight construction.
Yeah.
But the things that you were
Come to the dark side.
Yeah.
Come to the dark side.
no.
By the way, we fight about movies all the time.
It's true.
And this is why we're doing this podcast, because I enjoy this.
Yeah. I do feel sometimes like I felt it tonight a couple times where I do feel like the tension in my chest of like a real argument.
Yeah. Well, we're still friends. We're still buds. I felt the tension too. I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're still buds.
Yeah. So I guess then maybe you'll get another movie in a few weeks.
Yep. Well, we'll see. I'll give it a few days.
Yeah.
No.
Cool off. Yeah. And we'll see what the number one movie on Netflix is next time. And if it's not a rom-com, we'll do it.
We could do it if it's a rom-com.
All right. I'm down. I like them.
Yeah.
I would have watched that rom-dram too. I think you and I would have a fun conversation about like a Nicholas Sparks type movie. Did you ever see The Vow? No.
Who's in that?
Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams?
No.
Like, why would Craig have seen The Vow? I saw it because I was at one point reviewing movies for a website.
Yeah.
And so I would go see whatever was the hottest new release of the weekend. And I really liked it.
I watched The Holiday.
Yeah.
With China for, we watched a bunch of Christmas movies for a video.
Yeah.
Didn't hate that.
You know what I didn't like about The Holiday? It's just they were just doing stuff because it looked cool. Like winter, it's so cool.
Yeah, I didn't like that either because I don't like the winter. Yeah. I agree with you.
No, The Holiday is okay. It's pretty toothless.
Yeah, I love it, but I didn't hate it either. It was fine.
So I've been watching a lot of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a few of his YouTube videos promoting this, like his Vanity Fair career retrospective, and I was a little disappointed to hear how much shame he had about 10 Things I Hate About You, which is what I think is one of the greatest teen rom-coms. He felt shame about like being involved in that while he was a young, serious actor.
Oh, while he was young, he felt shame?
Yeah, he doesn't feel shame anymore. No.
Oh, okay.
But for like a long period of time, he was like, people should talk about Brick and not 10 Things I Hate About You. But I love both of those movies.
I could totally see as a young actor to think that way.
Well, his part also wasn't like the glory part. Like Heath Ledger was much more. Anyway, we don't have to talk about 10 Things I Hate. But if
welcome to All About 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes. Here are 10 things about 10 Things I Hate About You.
Welcome, 10 haters. That's what we call our audience.
I like it. I like it. The other one I watched was Wired's autocomplete interview, and it's Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it is the best.
What?
They just
that's like the answer Google. Yeah. I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've watched that.
Yeah. I really enjoy that format, and they're doing it remotely. Obviously, they're each in their home office or whatever. But like Jamie Foxx is so funny. He's so fucking funny.
Every time I see him in any kind of interview setting, he kills it.
Did you see his Comedians in Cars?
I did. I don't remember. I saw it a while ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
I'm sure it was hilarious.
He was very good in this movie too. But it's like there's something about him like as a person when he's in an interview that's so magnetic.
I actually loved, like, immediately in this movie, I'm like, okay, I'm going to love his performance in this. Like, immediately when he's knocking on the door, and the guy's like paranoid, he's opening the door, like, part way, and Jamie Foxx, he's just being a cool customer. He's just, like, really, like, yeah, man, hey, what's cool? Like his attitude in that scene was unlike what you'd expect in a scene like that. It was just, like, really, like, laid back and chill. Loved that scene. And that's probably what brought me in.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Cool.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for joining us on another movie. Craig, you feel good? You feel ready to that blood pressure? How's your blood pressure?
It was never that high, Jake.
Mine was. I don't know why I enjoy arguing with you, because I don't. Like, I'm so conflict avoidant that, like, I feel like I felt that heart going. I thought,
well, then maybe stop attacking me.
That's probably what I need to do. Guys, thanks again. We'll see you next time.
And scene.
There it is. Movie.
Yep, I'm gonna
You
stop.
did it. Wait, you are? What about
Oh.
the end tag?
Oh, well, I'm
Craig,
gonna.
you stopped?
Nope.
Did you stop?
I did, but I started again.
Okay, we can stop.
No, I didn't stop the audio. I just stopped the video, but I started it again.